Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Spontaneity. I'm the spontaneous one. Welcome back to another Midnight Guard video. This is the last one of the series. I start off by explaining this card, why I like it so much, how I believe it is very strong and can be very overpowered even though it's such a simple common card. Then I showed you my deck that I built around the card and how it functions now. Finally, kind of some of the decks. There's many ways to counter the deck with just like a basic blue counter, but these are some of the more easier ways you have to build around just to counter this deck. Is not super competitive. I like it for the more just it's fun to play, and it's just a fun deck concept. But I'm gonna go over its stats, what it does, and then some, not all, but some of the ways to counter this deck. So again, Midnight Guard, 2 colors, 1 white. It's a 3 cost overall creature, human soldier. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, untap Midnight Guard. It's a 2/3. Now, I'm going to show you some examples. So I'm going to use some verbal examples. A easy way to just counter it is like negate. It's a 3 cost, 1 colors, 2 blue. Negate, counter spell. Any of the negate cards can take it out. Any of Bubble Shield, where it just taps the creature and it doesn't untap, can make the card useless. But here's some other ways that don't just aren't as common. Well, I shouldn't say that because the first card I'm gonna say is probably my favorite form of destruction, and that is the Murder card. It's great for black. It's 1 colors, 2 black. And it's destroy target creature. It being a creature, it just gets destroyed. If you run 4 copies of Murder every time Midnight Guard gets into the battlefield, you can just murder them. It's an instant, so you can do it when it's put on the field, during their turn, during your turn. You can wait for it to be equipped and then use the Murder. It's pretty much just an easy way to destroy their card. Another good counter for this, there's only 8 creatures in this deck. So when Guard gets put on the field and there's no other creatures on the field, you can use something like Fleshbag Marauder, which is 2 colors, 1 black, zombie warrior. It's a 3/1, and as the effect when Fleshbag Marauder enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature. Each player sacrifices a creature, your opponent sacrificing a creature effect would be really good because if it's the only target, then they have to remove it themselves, which adds that little bit of extra layer of that kind of hurts. I know I'm running through a lot of black. There's not a lot of good green counters. There's Prey on the Weak, where it's your target card you control and target card opponent controls fight each other. Basically, both of them take damage equal to their power, which could be a good way to do it, but then you would need a secondary card to destroy it. Most of these are just easy ways, 1 card ways to counter. The next card is Mind Draw. Now you might be asking why. It's 2 colors, 1 black. Target opponent discards 2 cards, mills a card, lose a life, you gain a life. If they have 2 or less cards in their hand, it's an easy way to make it just go out of their hand. Milling a card, that's a chance's top card. They lost 3 cards. They also lose a life and you gain a life. There's a good chance you'll actually take out a Midnight Guard. About a 1 in 20. But you can also take out some of the combo pieces, a lot of things that can help out, and just making them discard cards from their hand makes their deck a lot less effective. Another card, Feed the Serpent, 2 colors, 2 black. Exile target creature permanent. Let's say they change the deck design that I have and make it where you have some grave pool. Now if you exile it, they can't just pull it back from their graveyard, and it's a lot harder to get. Now, funny enough, I've been looking at some of the cards and more powerful cards and things that people have been doing, and some of the cards I play, and Midnight Guard, funny enough, if you've played all the combo and all the tokens are out, the tokens are immune to Astray Command, which is 4 colors, 2 white. It's a sorcery, and you have choose 2. Destroy all artifacts, destroy all enchantments, destroy all creatures with converted mana cost of 3 or less, destroy all creatures with converted mana cost 4 or greater. The tokens are actually safe from this. All tokens are. Funny enough. All creature tokens. So if you're able to pull the combination off, and they activate that, all your tokens are safe. Now a deck to be worried about other than like the common like counter card Eldrazi. Oh gosh, Eldrazi. A more deck that you'll have to be a more common deck you'll have to be afraid of is flying, because you have 0 flying in this deck, at least for my design. If you do a different design, I can't speak for that deck. But flying is a big counter to this deck because you can't block them, and they might kill you with flying before you can pull stuff out. Now, a big deck that I'd be scared of, and I love running this deck, is mill decks. If you discard the top 7 cards, there's less than a 1 in 10 chance you're going to discard a Midnight Guard. It's like, okay, 7 out of 60, it's 1 in 10 for 1 card. You're probably milling one of your Midnight Guards with this. So mill decks become very dangerous for this style because you'll need every card in your deck, because you're probably going to get rid of some of the cards you need. And lastly, the cards I'm going to go over, this one hurts me the most because it's such an easily played card and it's run in most red decks. Lightning Strike does 3 damage. Midnight Guard takes 3 damage to destroy. So quite literally, if someone's running 4 Lightning Strikes, you've lost, because they can just deal the 3 damage when that goes on the field, because it's an instant. And any of these like instant damage cards. Now some cards I didn't mention, like Negate, anything that puts a lot of -1/-1 counters on the field, all like board wipes, except the Astray Command, funny enough, doesn't work on it. But anything that board wipes, of course, will take it out. Land Destruction really does hurt the deck, and these are just some of the easier ways to counter the deck. It's not a great deck. I believe it's one of my favorite decks for casual play. Well, I don't believe. It is one of my favorite decks. I believe it's a good casual play deck, and overall just really fun. So if you're really confused about this whole video, go check out the past 2. I did my review over Midnight Guard, and then the last one was, again, the deck. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching.